How did the movie end? Author Orpheus to read 3 minutes published 8.04. 2021 updated 8.04. 2021 unconventional and non-trivial can be called a psychological thriller. In A Quiet Mouth, last year appeared in home video in online cinemas. The storyline at first glance may seem predictable, but when thinking about it, more and more hidden and interesting details are revealed. General description of the storyline. The focus of the film is an ordinary American family, whose members have their own special secrets. Against the background of a detective investigation, there is a search for a cruel maniac who kills children in the neighborhoods of the city. Jackie's relationship with her husband Greg falters when the man discovers that his wife has cheated on him. Trying to find a compromise and an opportunity to stabilize family life, the spouses do not notice that in the life of their common teenage son Connor came difficult times. And the crisis in the small town where the family lives is aggravated by the newly started disappearances of children. The locals believe that there is a high probability of the return of the former homicidal maniac. Greg, working in the police, is forced to spend a lot of time on investigations. And at this time in his own house strange things begin to happen. How the movie ends. Understanding the storyline will be easier if you remember the beginning of the movie. And it begins with the disappearance of a small child riding a bicycle in such an ideal, as it seems at first glance, town. The body cannot be found, but the police discover the kid's bicycle and the stretching, because of which the fall occurred. A penknife with a green handle is found, which used to be the calling card of a serial killer. However, that killer is in jail, and locals speculate that either the maniac has a copycat or has returned. Further complications in the family. Greg, a policeman, has to do his best to solve a crime. But family problems force him to be torn between his duties and finding a solution with his wife, who is having an affair on the side. Things are complicated by an unexpected alleged attack on Todd, his wife's lover. As a result, Todd dies and Jackie assumes that her son Connor is responsible for his death. The father, Greg, being an experienced policeman, realizes that if his son goes to prison, the boy will have no future. Deciding to save the boy, the parents decide to bury the body of the murdered man in the woods. The final scene of the movie. At the moment when his parents leave for the forest, Connor is left alone. On his phone comes a frightening message, from which it is clear that he is not alone in the house. And immediately there is an attack. His parents find their son tied up in the bathtub, but he is alive. The mother takes Connor to the hospital, while the father searches the house. The result is a game of cat and mouse, and an unknown man with an axe lunges at a policeman. It is not clear to the viewer whether Greg is alive or dead. And then the action of the movie rewinds. It turns out that before the events described in the movie, a company of froggers gets into the house. The guys start with an innocent stay in the family's chambers, and continue with more and more sophisticated abuse. As it becomes clear from the final scenes of the movie, the child killer and psychopathic maniac turns out to be a policeman himself, Greer. Using his official powers, he plants evidence on an innocent man who ends up behind bars. And Greg is back to killing again. The denouement becomes the discovery of the fact that one of the guys froggers, a longtime victim of Greg, who managed to escape from him. Finding out will surely ruin the lives of Jackie and her son, but is definitely an incredibly interesting and confusing ending to the thriller. The theme of crime and punishment, police corruption and middle-class privilege is revealed when watching and analyzing the film.